Hi everybody, welcome to Sprague Woodturning. My name is Jim. So this week we're actually going to turn something that I personally have never turned before, and that's myrtle wood. Now this piece of wood comes all the way from Oregon. Lance Rawlings sent this along, and as you can see, the bugs have had a heyday with this. So we'll try and clean out as many of these passages as we can, and we'll cast it in some resin and we'll see what it looks like. So should be interesting. I've never turned myrtle before. Not typically something that grows in the area that I live in. So that should be cool. Along with that, I need to cut this down to get it into the bucket. And I made a rounding jig from my bandsaw. So I'll kind of walk and talk you through that as well. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And of course, anytime I can get that thumbs up on my videos will certainly help with the analytics. And of course, sharing my videos on your social media platforms is absolutely a bonus as well. So if you can do that, I would really appreciate it. All right, so let's get over to the bandsaw and I will show you the rounding jig that I made. I think it's pretty cool. All right, so here's this rounding jig that I made, and it just slides onto the bandsaw. There's a cleat underneath that fits into the miter groove, and so it won't rack this way. And all I'm doing is using a couple of C-clamps to fix it to the back here. Now the idea is that this was made for rounding bowl blanks from log form, half log form to rounded bowl blank. So this is out of my miter gauge from my table saw, which I never use anymore. And what I've done is drilled and tapped this. This is just a size smaller than 1/4 inch. And so this is what the hole, when it's drilled in the wood, will ride on. At the back, there's just a bolt that locks it in place. So you could have quite a very large bowl blank using this method. I'll show you how it's constructed. So this is just 2 pieces of 1/2 inch plywood. The bottom one is a full piece, and then there's 2 other small pieces like this. This miter tracking, I got this at Busy Bee actually a number of years ago here in Canada, but I think you can get it pretty much anywhere. I did cut a hole here for dust collection, and I've removed the insert so that you can actually get proper dust collection. I did do a little test drive with this, and all the dust was sitting on the top because I had this all kind of closed off. So this should work better now. Now, like I said, this is made for half logs that already have a flat face on them. But if you already got something round, what you're going to have to do is nibble off a bit of it and then bring it in and then start it. So anyway, I'll show you how to do that right now. So I've been wanting to build something like this for a while, and this is literally the same day that I made this, and I realized that if I actually cut a slot in the back so that you can pull the rig towards you, then you can set the block in whatever desired dimension you want, then push the base away from you, and then lock it down and spin it like I am now. And I have done that since, and it works absolutely fantastic. I'm glad I made it. In a perfect world, this also would have been made with like a melamine type top so that the top is slippery. I'm going to get some sort of tape to put on the top of this so that the wood glides on it easier. All right, we got our bug holes blew out. Well, as good as it's going to get anyway. Wow, it's just thing ever eaten up. So anyway, in our bucket, let's get some resin done. Deep cast, Designer Epoxy. Alright, so we haven't done this before. A little bit of orange. Again, you can get these from Designer Epoxy. I have no idea how much of this it's going to take. I guess we'll put a couple in and go from there. I think I want it looking more orangey than that. Hold on a sec. Let's give her some of this pumpkin orange. That's more like it. I would be surprised if this is going to be enough. Matter of fact, I pretty much guarantee that it's not. There's a lot of holes to fill. I don't think that's even close to being enough. Do I have a leak? Do you see how far that's dropped? That's hilarious. It's just dropping and dropping and dropping. All right, well, let's mix up some more. I'm gonna do this the same as the other one. Probably should. I need to get the alcohol dyes from Designer Epoxy. Where did our 24 ounces go? It's gone. It is floating a little bit. It's going to need a lot more than that. All right, that should be plenty. I'll get this in the pressure pot, get a weight on it, and we'll see you in a couple days. Some have been wondering how I clean this little mixer. This is acetone. There you go. Squeaky clean. So this has become actually one of the most favorite parts of working with resin, is opening the pressure pot to see what things look like after it's been cured. So it's like Christmas every time you do one. Uh-oh. Can't imagine the resin dropping that much. Wow. Huh. Yeah, there was a bit of a leak, but I can't believe that took all that resin. There had to be 3/4 of an inch of resin on the top of that. Well, what kind of an adventure is this going to be again? This is actually probably why half the people watch my videos, to laugh at me when I'm trying to get these castings out. Everybody's in there, why don't you use mold release, Jim? I know. There. Yes, sir. That gobbled up all that resin. We're gonna have to cut it down a little bit. That's alright, should still look pretty interesting. Starting off with the 5/8 bowl gouge from David Ellsworth. And you know, the majority of this is actually wood, so it was cutting fairly decent. You know, you can get 2 or 3 passes on it, and then that's it. The edge has gone off it, and you're probably gonna have to sharpen again. All right, so this is a tool from Hunter Tool Systems. It's the left-handed Viceroy. They have right-handed ones, obviously, because the majority of the world is right-handed. But the great thing about it is, if you are left-handed like I am, and you turn on the outboard end of your lathe in a reverse direction, like it would be for right-handed people, you can get this left-handed tool. Um, the great thing about this tool is that you're really limited by how much material you can take off. The base of the tool acts like a shoulder, so you can't go deep into the wood. And you'll see it on its side, you'll see it flat. I'm just working with this, trying to figure it out because it is a new tool to me and just trying to get used to it. Now the tool does look like it's got some bluing on it, and like you'd have on the barrel of a gun. And I did find it to be a little sticky on the tool rest. So if you're just to wax the bottom of that tool, it will glide a lot better on the tool rest. And overall, I'm really happy with this, and I'm really happy with the fact that I now have a left-handed tool that I can use on the outboard end of my lathe, where I didn't have before. Pretty much all hollowing tools, which this can be used for, are right-handed. Here I'm prepping the base. I've got the blank held with the Mega Jaws. Just slightly concave the bottom of it, and then use 60 grit on the drill just to scuff things up and to make sure that we have some good adhesion between the hot melt glue and the bowl blank, and you're ready to go. As you can see, by using this method, you're not out of balance by very much after it's been put on the outboard end of the lathe. So this is the stabilizer. This is again from Hunter Tools, and as you can see, it's got a wide base on it. After talking to Mike, these tools were originally made for end grain turning. That's probably the most common function. And we'll do a little bit of that here on the channel as well. But as you can see, it's meant to be kept flat on the tool rest. Now that doesn't mean that you can't tilt it up, and you'll see me here. I'm actually got it tilted up. It makes it less aggressive. It does a good job eating up the resin, and probably the big advantage over it compared to a gouge is that the gouge will lose its edge relatively quickly, where these carbide tools don't. And that's probably the biggest advantage. Back with the Viceroy here. And I'm going from the surface into the base, or from the top into the base. And I'm going from the base outwards as well. And again, I'm just figuring out these tools because they are new to me. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with them. It does a really good job eating up that resin very quickly. Even if you're just using it as a roughing tool to eat up the resin before moving on to other tools that would be finishing tools, like maybe a freshly sharpened gouge, just to get that perfectly flat surface prior to sanding. Very impressed with it, and I'm happy that Mike sent this along for me to try out. Well, all right, what do you think so far? Pretty darn cool, isn't it? Of course, those are all bug entrails that are left behind. One thing I'm not liking is how a lot of it, the resin didn't get to it. And I think that the only way to really kind of make this thing look that way is to add some more resin. A little bit on the ends here, but not as much as there is in the center of this. And you know what? I was anticipating this happening. So my solution to this is cover this in plastic on the outside, put plastic on the inside, use the marble method again, and then pour more resin around the outside of this. There, that forms a pretty good seal. And what I'll do is just tape some tape and run it around there, and that shouldn't leak. I am concerned about the glue block moving when this goes into the pressure pot, because that's where I'm going to put it again. But I think this is something that's a necessary step in order to make it look good. Yeah, I could use CA glue. That may work fine, but I don't know. I think the resin in this case is the way to go. Yeah, this isn't the first time I've shown this method. I think this is the second or third time. Anyway, you know, where there's a will, there is a way. Let's mix up some resin and then we'll get this in the pressure pot. I'm going to use the Pro Series this time. So this is the bottom of a 5-gallon bucket, and it actually fits the outside of this bowl pretty much perfectly. So I'm going to go put this in the pressure pot and then we'll do the pour in there. I did kind of leave it loose in spots around the outside, so that resin should wrap around and go around that bowl. There, I'm going to say that that's probably good. We'll know tomorrow morning. Well, there's our casting. Hopefully there's no leaks down below here. No, we did have a little blowout somewhere. Tiny little hole right there. Otherwise, it's perfect. That's good. I'm glad to see all this stuff filled in. Should be nice. I'm just really getting this stuff off because I don't want it slapping my knuckles when I put it on the lathe. Anyway, that's probably good enough. Let's get her on the lathe. What do you think? For you who thought that it wouldn't work. Ha! So I'd like to run something by you guys. My analytics tells me that, say I put up a video that's 50 minutes long, that, it's only seen about 25 minutes on average. People are watching it. So, I really like the fact that I'm doing these instructional videos, and I was debating on starting another channel where I basically cut all of this talking out. There won't be any voiceovers. It'll just be, clips, and most of them will probably be sped up at that. And hopefully I can take a video that's, say, 50 minutes long and drop it down to 10 minutes long. And that way, I realize that a lot of people are watching these videos just because they really like to see how things are made. They don't necessarily want all the detail that goes into making these products that maybe a beginner wood turner would want, or a wood turner in general would maybe be looking for. So I'm thinking about, it would essentially be the same video, but it'd be a much more condensed version of it, very much streamlined. And like I said, go from say 50 minutes to 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So anyway, I would really appreciate you commenting and let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in. Don't worry, I'm still going to make these videos the way I'm doing them now. I'm not going to change that up one bit. I just think that maybe I'm losing some subscribers, or people aren't subscribing to my channel because of the fact that it's just the videos are too long. And I get that. I totally do. So anyway, all comments are welcome on that, and hopefully I hear from you. So here you're going to see the big difference between the Viceroy and a gouge. It didn't take long for the edge to go off that gouge. And there's another shot of the left-handed Viceroy. And you'll see like it just nibbles that resin off like it's not even there. And you know, I never turned the cutter during the filming of this bowl, and it actually seen a fair bit of resin while I was filming. And it's, you know, it's just eating it up. All right, so I already started. I'm just going to use some thin CA glue from Starbond. There's just the odd little spot where the resin didn't get to these spots here anyway. So, you know, I'm just going to go along pretty much the whole bowl here now and just give this a quick little coating, and that will seal in any of those areas where the resin couldn't get to it. And then I'm just going to put this back on the lathe, give it a quick truing up, and then get our first coat of finish on. Now I could definitely go thinner on this. That's not an issue at all. With all this resin that's in here, it's actually pretty structurally sound. But you know, I like a bowl with some mass. And this is such a cool detail on the very top of this rim. I want to leave it. What I'm going to do is just set it with the accelerator. Again, in the description down below, there's a link that you can click on and you'll get 15% off your next order. Use code INLAYJIM at checkout. It's pretty good here, some spots here and there, but I'm just going to give this just a quick little coating of this CA glue, and then we'll get her trimmed up. I think it looks pretty cool actually. So I'm just cleaning up the outside of the bowl, getting that dried CA glue off of there. That way you're not burning up so much sandpaper, because it is pretty tough stuff. And here you see me shear scraping. This is the most effective way to make the outside of a bowl surface perfect. I understand that, you know, a bowl gouge can be intimidating to beginner wood turners. And this is maybe where carbide tools will be best for you until you can kind of master the bowl gouge. I never even dreamt that I would own a carbide tool until I started doing resin, and I really see the benefits of it now. And now I'm even using them on work that I don't have any resin in. So, you know, give them a try. All right, so I'm just getting ready to sand. There's another area where I'd gone down too deep with the gouge and exposed stuff. So anyway, I just hit it with the CA glue. I'm not going to tool this off. I'm just going to start with 60 grit and clean this all off, and then proceed to sanding the bowl. All right, so this is Wood Bowl Finish by General Finishes. Now, if you've been here for a while, you know that I've been trying to replace the salad bowl finish that General Finishes has rebranded as Wood Bowl Finish. And they've taken the food safe tags off of it. Now, I've used a few, having a real hard time matching it. Now, when it comes to resin work and non-functional work, I don't have a problem using this wood bowl finish. Actually, I wouldn't have a problem using this wood bowl finish, period, for salad bowls, because I'm still a firm believer that any clear finish when fully cured is food safe, including this wood bowl finish. And, you know, General Finishes has stated basically that it's the same finish for whatever reasons. I'm assuming it's got to do with legal. They've taken the food safe tags off of the can. Now, this is, well, it's bug poo. That's what this is. So, you know, again, I probably wouldn't have an issue using this. I think that it's probably should be more a salad bowl. I don't know if I would put liquids in this. It's all solidified with the resin and the CA glue, but you know, it kind of is what it is. Like, people are really going to get turned off by that. So, you know, my resin work is the same thing. Some of my resin bowls, like the bowl that you seen last week, I mean, if you were to put food in that, I don't know, it'd be like using the Mona Lisa as a floor mat. You know, that's an exaggeration, but you know, I just find it hard to believe that people would actually throw a salad in that, given what it is. I mean, the thing was truly a piece of art. Like, really, all four of them bowls are really, really neat. But you know, once you buy it, I suppose you can do whatever you want. So from now on, for my non-functional resin work and this kind of work, I'm going to go with wood bowl finish, and I'm going to go with something else. I've been working with some Osmo and the Osmo Gloss. Now, Osmo is very, very thick, so that's a bit of an issue. And it's just been kind of hard to work with. Now, the Mohawk salad bowl finish is certainly something that could be used, but I'll show you the problem that I've got with it. You can almost count it like the rings on a tree when it sits overnight. This is with an oxygen barrier on the top of it, so if it stays in those stop-loss bags, it's fine. But, you know, if it goes into a container like this, you know, that's a problem. As wood turners, we don't typically open up a can of finish and use the entire can. So, you know, I don't really know. I don't really know exactly what I'm going to be going with. But what I am going to probably be doing is going with a finish that seals the wood, and then a gloss wax over top of that. And I've got some on order, and hopefully I'll be able to do some bowls here beforehand to show you guys exactly how I want to do this. But anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm kind of in a limbo as far as a food safe finish. I still have a full can of the salad bowl finish, so I get, you know, I can make a lot of bowls with that. It's just very disappointing. I used to buy that General Finishes salad bowl finish by the case, and it's disappointing that I no longer can use that finish for food safe functional work. Anyway, it is what it is. I'll get it sorted out, and I'll take you guys along for the ride. Anyway, yakking, I, you know, totally forgot about the bowl. Anyway, it looks pretty cool. Very, very neat. I wonder what it would look like if you would have been able to clean out all those passages and have the colored resin in there. You can see it in certain parts where it was where it didn't have any entrails in it, and that gives you the color. Regardless, it's pretty cool. Anyway, we'll put the next coat on tomorrow. See you then. Second coat of wood bowl finish. Still a lot of bare wood on this today, so I'm assuming this is going to take 3 coats. And since I've never turned myrtle before, I don't know actually how hard it is. It's very hard to judge with the resin. It doesn't seem to be real hard. And typically you'll get a better shine on harder woods when you use shiny finishes, if you're not aware of that. So we'll see how that is tomorrow, but I suspect that we're probably going to need 3 coats. So I'll do the third coat the same as I did the second, and I'll bring you in when we're doing the foot. I guess myrtle wood must be really tasty. See you tomorrow. Just doing the final buffing with white diamond, and if you don't do any buffing, you don't really know a lot about it. The white diamond is a less aggressive compound, and it leaves behind a really nice shine. Of course, here we are back with the vacuum chuck. So I'll touch on this too. So, I'm left-handed, like I've said, turn on the outboard end. Now, most people are going to be right-handed and are going to turn on the inboard side of the lathe. So if you have a vacuum chuck attached to your lathe, you can bring up the tailstock. You can see the mark that's in the base of the bowl from when I rounded it. Well, that's probably going to be close to dead center, and that you can use that as an aid to line that bowl up perfectly on the vacuum chuck. The way I do it, I just have to fool around till I get it. And here I'm back with the Viceroy, and that actually right in that little gully, right there, that's a prime spot for that tool to get in there and clean that up and clean up that end grain. Yeah, here I think I started at 120 and sanded all the way to 800. All right, that's it for the video. Let's have a last little look at our Wormy Myrtle wood. Crazy. Worms, sure, or whatever. I shouldn't say worms. I don't know what chewed this up. Yeah, there's more more orange than in other spots, and I'm assuming that's just because the passageway was vacant. Everything is on the bottom of the bowl. It's so busy, it's very hard to see, but it's there. 3 coats of wood bowl finish. It ended up being 10 by 2.5 high, and a very, very cool piece. So thanks, Lance. Thanks for sending that on along. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so let me know in the comments what you think. I think it's pretty darn neat. Not sure if I want to do a bunch of these because you probably spend a lot of resin. Speaking of that, the next time I do one of these interior resin with the plastic, I think I'm going to actually use rice or something that packs in a little tighter. There was a lot of kind of resin that was lost. The plastic had kind of did this number all the way around. So I mean, I want to try and limit how much epoxy I'm using. So next time I'm going to try and pack that in tighter so that we don't use so much epoxy. But anyway, it's cool. So the next video is actually going to be July the 1st. That's Canada Day. So I'm going to do a Canadian plate flag. That's what we're going to do. So come on back for that. I'm Canadian, if you don't know that. So it's pretty much done, and it's pretty neat. So make sure you come on back for that. And then following that, on the 4th of July, I'm going to do a Stars and Stripes clock for my American subscribers and my American viewers. They make up the greatest percentage of my subscribers and my views, so this is a thanks back to you guys. So anyway, that's what's coming up. Don't forget about our sponsors in the description down below: Designer Epoxy, sandpaper.ca, Starbond Adhesives, and Hunter Tools. They're all in the description down below to get your discount codes, so make sure you head over and check them out. I guess that's it. Anytime I can get a thumbs up on my videos certainly helps with the analytics. Sharing my videos on your social media platforms is totally awesome. Please do that as well. And yeah, don't forget to comment. Anyway, till the 1st of July, take care, stay safe. Don't forget that bell, you know when the video goes up. See ya.